to Cindy's Library, and today I am going to talk about the books I've read so far in the month of October. So for the first half of October, including lots for victober. So let's get to it. I started out with Understood Betsy, which I'd never read before. It's by Dorothy Canfield Fisher, and I quite enjoyed it. This is a story of Elizabeth Ann, who lives in the city with her aunt and grandmother, I believe, and they are both quite timid about things and have taught Betsy to be timid as well. But when the grandmother gets sick and needs to be taken off on a vacation to recover, well, Elizabeth Ann is sent to live with relations who live out on the country, who her aunt and grandmother are not entirely sure of. Neither is Elizabeth Ann at first, but she slowly learns to appreciate their life and learns how to live not so timidly, and she does indeed become Betsy. Wonderful little story. Doesn't count for victober, sadly, because it's American and timeline-wise it's Edwardian, but that's okay. Still glad I read it. I also read some Sherlock Holmes, specifically The Sign of the Four. Is it great, Holmes? Perhaps not. Most people tend to agree that, with the exception of The Hound of the Baskervilles, the short stories, and especially the early short stories, are where Sherlock Holmes shines the most, but still very fun. Holmes is bored, but he gets a case from a young lady named Mary. Her father passed away maybe 10 years ago. Before that, he had been serving in India, and of course Mary had been sent back to England long before to live with relations of one sort or another. And when she was about 18, he's finally coming back to England, so excited, but he ended up suddenly dying. Mary's never quite been settled about that, and for the past 8 to 10 years, or however long it's been, she has been a companion to a lady who's on the whole fairly nice, but she's getting these mysterious messages. Well, good Dr. Watson finds himself smitten with Mary and wants to help her. Fortunately, Holmes sees there's more going on behind these messages than meets the eye, and becomes not bored and is happy to investigate. The Sign of the Four. Let's see. Oh, yes. I finished Little Dorrit by Charles Dickens. Absolutely loved it. May have even loved it more than David Copperfield last year, and that's saying something because I really loved that. You wouldn't know it by how few tabs I put in here, but I'd never read it before, and it's hard to tab, I find sometimes, first read through, but absolutely loved it. I actually have a full review of that going up, but, well, we start with a couple of convicts in a cell in Marseille, I think. We move with a group of travelers back to England, where we eventually find ourselves in the Marshalsea, a debtor's prison. where we find little Dorrit, who was actually born in the Marshalsea because her father's in there, and things go on from there. Great commentary on the prison system, especially debtors' prisons, and about society and all sorts of things. And then I read The Three Brides by Charlotte Mary Yongue. Let's see. There we go. Three Brides. And this is exactly what it says it is. We have a family. Father died fairly early, leaving a widow with 5 sons. And all 5 of the sons are quite devoted to their mother. And the 3 eldest, after being away for a bit, are returning with brides. The eldest, Raymond, comes back with Cecil, who is an heiress, quite high in society, properly trained in society and all of that. The second, his name starts with a V, not Victor, or Vincent, I think. Anyway, he comes back with Rosamond. He's the clergyman of the family, taking over the local parish, of course. Rosamond is the daughter of a soldier, so in many ways, well, actually, I think she is the oldest, and so in that way, and with all of her traveling experience with the military, in some ways she is the most experienced. So, although socially not so much perhaps as Cecil. And then Miles sends his bride, who he found in South Africa at the colony there, back to spend time with his family before he comes back from his final voyage, and they settle there. And Anne, oh, she has in many ways the least experience. She's easily the most religious, while not entirely understanding what that really consists of in some ways. And, well, we get all of these, plus some of the younger boys, especially one of them, all mixed together, all living in the same place, at least at first. Plus, we have all of the local gossip and local politics and things going on, both regular politics and church politics. The eldest son being involved in the first, and the second son being involved in the second, and things going on with the neighbors and all sorts of things. And things don't always go smoothly or happily, although sometimes they go better than others, and for some people they go better than others, and some people are more willing to learn than others, we'll put it that way. And I absolutely loved it. Do I love this as much as Chancery House? Do I love this as much as The Heir of Radcliffe? If not, it's a close third. I'm so happy that I read another Charlotte Mary Yongue. Still have so many of her wonderful books to talk about. So, let's see, The Sign of the Four, that completes the challenge for Alice. And Little Dorrit, of course, completes the challenge for something serialized. Dickens definitely serialized, including Little Dorrit, and The Three Brides by Charlotte Mary Yongue definitely completes something having to do with religion. There's plenty of religious discussions and uh, scenes of religious life in there to count for that. So not a bad start to victober. We'll see if I can get through the rest of the challenges. Anyway, that is what I have read for the first half of October. How's your October been going so far, reading wise? Are you participating in victober too? So I'd love to hear all about it down below. Thank you so much for stopping by. I truly do appreciate it. So until next time, hope we all stay safe and healthy. And as always, happy reading.